Have you ever been scrolling at 2 a.m. and all of a sudden you come across a dog meme from 2014? Same. What is social media really doing to us, and why do we keep going back? Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'd like to dive deep into social media and the impact that it has on our day-to-day lives. Do you ever find yourself scrolling through TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and then somehow an hour or two has gone by? Well, if you're sat here watching this video, then you can probably relate to this a lot. So, get comfy and let's get into it. I have been using social media since the good old Bebo days. Now, who remembers that? And times sure have changed since then. To me, back then, social media was just having a Facebook account so that I could go on my farm on Farmville, and by the time I got home from school, all my crops had grown. And let's not forget the good old MSN days, instant messaging at its finest. We had a way to just hassle our friends all night long. Now, if you grew up in my generation and you were introduced to social media through your teenage years, then you know all too well how new and exciting this all was. We had ways to speak to our friends outside of school without having to pick up a landline. Little did we know that this was going to become something so powerful and had the potential to really destroy some lives. Did you know that research has found that on average people spend about 4 hours and 37 minutes on their phone each day? That is equivalent to over 1 day a week or 6 days per month, which doesn't really sound like a lot. I do want to make it clear that this video isn't about bashing social media, but more about exploring the hidden effects that it has on us on a day-to-day basis, because let's face it, a lot of what we do in our everyday lives does include social media in one way or another. Comparison culture is a big one to start off with because it's the biggest trap that people fall into when using social media. What we tend to forget is that when people post online, they tend to post only what they want you to see and not the actual reality. They might come across successful and happy, but behind closed doors, they might be the complete opposite, and that all this on social media is just a facade. Now, don't get me wrong, I myself have always spent a lot of time comparing myself to others and comparing my content to those that do well and thinking that I'm not good enough. You automatically go into this negative state of mind and start assuming the worst, like, she's prettier than me because she gets more likes on her photos. That must mean I'm ugly. Or that person's car must be so much nicer than mine because they get so much more attention for their car. People obviously don't like my car. This has a big impact on the car culture, as an example. You see many different varieties of cars online. You see people with expensive cars, not so expensive cars, a lot of modifications, no modifications. And you start to compare yourself. It's usually, you find, the ones with all the modifications, the higher end cars, that they get more attention. So you automatically think to yourself, oh, I need to modify my car more. My car's not good enough. I need a much more expensive car. Oh, my car's too old. I need to get something newer. And we forget that we have this. We have this car, we choose to have this car because it makes us happy. And that's what it's all about. You start to compare your lifestyle to others and you start to question whether you're behind in life because you're not at the same stage that someone else might be and they're younger than you. And we get into this vicious cycle of comparison culture. Not everyone's lives are as they seem on social media, so that's something you've got to remember. And once you can grasp the fact that actually it's not important what other people have got, and you learn gratitude. So gratitude is something I learned from my dad from quite a young age, actually. If you're grateful and you learn to appreciate and express your gratitude every single day for everything you have in life, whether that's your friends, your family, the roof over your head, the food you eat, the things you own, the pets you have, anything, your job, your car, even something as small as the clothes you wear or the phone that you use. If you express that gratitude every day, you'll actually find yourself feeling a lot happier because you're focusing on things you do have. You're just focusing all your energy on the things that you do have, and you're reminding yourself how fortunate you are to have all that. The problem a lot of people face is that they focus too much on what they don't have and very little on what they do have. Don't look at other people online and think, they have this brand new phone, they have this brand new car, they seem to have all this money and I don't. Because all you're doing is just attracting more of that negative energy into your life. Focus it on what you do have, and trust me, you will notice a change. Now, a lot of you may have heard the term doom scrolling, which by definition is the act of scrolling through distressing and negative information or news online, even though it causes you anxiety and upset. This behaviour actually increased during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is no surprise at all, considering people felt very isolated and they turned to social media for comfort and entertainment. This is when the app TikTok really took off and people started posting trends online and getting tons of views. Now, I myself would personally put TikTok down as one of the worst social media platforms. What once started off as a kids app progressively turned into an app with adult-only content and very, very distressing videos which kids can now easily access, which tarnishes their young minds. Nowadays, the algorithm likes to focus on this negative and distressing content, which eventually it leads to more violence in people. It leads to worse behaviours. If you find yourself picking up your phone and watching videos exactly like this, then you are in fact a victim of doom scrolling. These social media companies monetize a great deal from these types of videos. The algorithm will push this sort of content out because it does well. This leads to more views, more shares, therefore more revenue. My advice to anyone who finds themselves doing this is to just limit your app usage. Take some time in the day where you don't go on your phone, you don't scroll through social media, and I can guarantee you will feel so much better in doing this. Being a content creator can be hard. Whether you post for fun or you monetize from your content, it can be super stressful. For creators, it's the constant algorithm chasing, making sure you're posting at the right time of day to ensure that your video is picked up by the algorithm and actually pushed out there for people to see. For users, it's more the pressure of just being online, the fear of missing out. If you don't go online, you won't see people's updates, you won't see what's going on in people's lives. Now, there's something very wrong with the fact that we would all prefer to go online and check out what's going on in other people's lives than actually sit and focus on our own lives. It goes to show that we really do rely on social media a lot more than we think. Social media can lead to people being quite cynical. They have a general belief that people are motivated by self-interest and by being insincere. They tend to be sceptical of other people's motives, and they can often view the world with a pessimistic outlook, believing that one's actions are driven by pure selfishness other than for the good. Now, let's take politics as an example. Now, we are not here to get political, but people who express their political anger online are more likely to be associated with political cynicism. Political content on social media is usually quite toxic. If your main source of news is social media, then you are more likely to perceive politics as hostile and angry. You often see these similar behaviours in the car scene. People create stereotypes for certain cars that define the sort of person you are. So if you own a certain type of car, you are this certain type of person. These stereotypes then turn into trends, which then leads people to really dislike the car that they own because of these trends. They get singled out and they get made fun of. They become embarrassed. Therefore, they're not enjoying their car anymore, which completely, it takes out the fun. I want to talk to you about my own experience of validation and likes and how I became obsessed when posting content online, how I would just obsess over the amount of likes and views I got, and if I didn't get many, how awful it would make me feel. Whenever I would post a new TikTok or even an Instagram post, I would quite literally check the app every few minutes just to keep an eye on the amount of likes and views that it had. It didn't matter if it had only been a few minutes. Realistically, I knew it wasn't just going to blow up as soon as I posted it, but for some reason I would consistently check the app, and as soon as an hour went past and nothing had really happened on the post, I would feel awful and I would just say that my content was crap and not worth looking at, and that I had no talent, and that why should I bother? And it's crazy to think that we literally need this validation online in order to feel like we've got something special. It has taken me a long time to finally get to a place where I can post content for me and only me. It doesn't matter if a post gets 10 likes or 20k likes. At the end of the day, I'm posting it for me and no one else. And let's put it this way. If 10 real life people came up to you and complimented your car, that would mean so much more than if you got 10 likes on Instagram. It also helps to remember that the algorithm plays a massive part in your content. If your content doesn't match the criteria, if it doesn't reach the algorithm, it won't get pushed out for people to see. So it's not necessarily that people don't like your posts, it's just that they're not seeing it. And that is the way that the algorithm works. If you can remember that, and you can sit with the fact that, okay, my post might not do so well because it hasn't reached the algorithm, doesn't meet the criteria, it helps you a lot more. And keeps you just a bit more motivated because you think, okay, it didn't happen this time, but maybe next time. At one point in my life, I did do photography. I loved taking photos of cars and posting it on my photography page on Instagram. What happened was something that became enjoyable for me, it was a massive passion of mine, just became the worst thing in the world to me. And that was because I was posting online and then comparing my content to other people, bearing in mind these people are much more experienced, been doing photography a lot more. Yeah, they've come a long way, and I was just starting out, and I was already comparing myself and wondering why I wasn't at their level. And I couldn't seem to grasp the fact that everyone's content is different. And if you want to post content that's exactly the same as someone else's, then you're just not being original. You know, I was a massive victim of comparison culture because I just never saw myself as good enough compared to all of these other photographers. Their content would be amazing. It would get a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of shares. They'd get noticed by big brands. And I was just there with my couple of likes, not getting anywhere. I started to just really lose the motivation. And my friends and family would tell me how talented I was. But even though it was coming from them, and that should be all that matters, because I wasn't getting that validation online through likes and comments and just people noticing me online, I didn't believe it. I just refused to believe it. And it's very sad to think that I needed validation from complete strangers over the validation from people who know me. And that's the very, very worrying and scary thing about social media. Unfortunately, I did actually stop photography due to this. I do regret it massively because I do think I was good at it. I do think I had a lot of potential and a lot of talent. So maybe it will return one day. It's okay if it doesn't, no pressure, but maybe. Now, let's stop with the negativity because social media does actually have its positives. You can build communities online, share your interests with like-minded people and just build relationships. You can keep in touch with friends and family. You can reconnect with long lost friends that you had in school, or just people from your past that you haven't spoken to in years. It's a great place to do marketing and promote your business. You know, small creators or small businesses can use social media to get their product, their business out there and get it seen by other people, to gain more followers, subscribers, more customers. And it's a very good tool if you know how to use it. Since I have been posting my car online, I have created a lovely small community of people. I've got my loyal followers, as I call them, people that interact with me basically on a daily basis, always supported me, always helped to motivate me, always given me really good feedback on my content. And I think that is the really good part of social media. And let's not forget as well, you can learn a lot. If you look at YouTube, you can find tutorials, you can find anything really, anything you want. If I want to know how to do something on my car, if I want to know how to do something around the house, anything at all, you just search it on YouTube and there'll be so many lovely, helpful people who post videos online so you can learn. And I've learned a lot over the years, and also I want to take that into my own content and help people along the way. I think that social media is a very powerful tool, and if used correctly, it can be super useful, but if it's used in the wrong way, it can become a very dark place. So I can share with you some tips that have helped me over time. One, starting with reducing your screen time and having no phone zones. And what I mean by that is take an hour or even a couple of hours out of your day to have absolutely zero time on your phone. Take the time to go and sit outside, whether it's in the sun, it's in the rain, it's the cold, it's warm. Just go outside, close your eyes and just listen to the world go by. It sounds boring. It sounds like something your parents would tell you to do. And it is something your parents would tell you to do. But they have a point. Get yourself out of the negativity, get your head out your phone and just realise how beautiful life actually is. When you are on social media, choose to follow accounts that actually inspire you, actually motivate you, have really positive energy, and not the ones that are really draining and just talk about negative topics. Drop in the comments your own tips or advice when it comes to using social media. Give me some of the experience you've had. Have they been good? Have they been bad? Let me know. Social media isn't going away anytime soon, but it is how we use it that matters. If you are still here watching this video, I'd like to take the time to thank you for sitting and listening to me and my opinions. It does mean a lot. This is a very different video to normal, but I want my channel to be more a variety of different things, such as sitting and talking about certain topics or maybe some stuff that's car related. I don't want to limit myself to just cars because I think there is so much potential for this channel and I really want to build on this online community and just start posting videos that are going to help people, that people find entertaining, videos that people watch and they say, yeah, I'd like to subscribe to her because I enjoy her content. So if you do want to subscribe, it would mean a lot. If not, that's absolutely fine. Thank you for watching anyway. But I guess that wraps up this video. So thank you again. Take care of yourselves and I will see you in the next video.